Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is a reaction video. This one popped up on my browser feed. It is the legacy of the 75th Ranger Regiment in Afghanistan. I served in the Army from 2008 to 2012 as a cavalry scout. I was not a Ranger. I know a lot of guys who were, and I don't know how this video is going to go. I haven't watched it yet, but it piqued my interest, so we're going to watch it.
Oh my God, another plane has just hit another building, flew right into the middle of it. That was definitely looked like it was on purpose.
So I was in the 6th grade on this day. I remember very vividly my mom coming in and waking me up, and the first words she said to me were, our country's under attack. And we turned on the TV and we watched live as the second plane hit. And I remember seeing the people throwing themselves out of the buildings, the firefighters and the police officers going in. It's definitely a day I'll never forget. And it's crazy to me that when we abandoned Afghanistan, because that's what we did, we abandoned it, we had guys serving who weren't even born yet on this day, or had just been born on this day. Some of the guys killed at Abbey Gate weren't even old enough to be alive during this.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
Like right away.
Today is on bended knee, as we mourn the loss of thousands of our. I can hear you, the world hears you, and the people are not these feelings down, while in all of us.
It was the Wild West. I wasn't enlisted yet at this time. I was still a kid. I was still in school. But the stories I heard from
vital national interest,
Afghanistan and Iraq when I enlisted in 2008, it was like a Wild West back in those days.
This conflict was begun on the timing and terms of others. It will end in a way and at an hour of our choosing.
That pisses me off. That pisses me off because we left so much behind that they are now more well equipped than some of our allies around the world with the equipment that we left behind. And I know it's funny to see them on rollerblades rolling through towns and stuff like that. And now I'm even getting ads for tourism videos for Afghanistan. But this is not a country that anybody should be going to. Anybody.
I'm Kurt Donaldson. I'm the Regimental Command Sergeant Major. I've got 18 deployments to Afghanistan. I had the opportunity to jump in here 19 October 2001 with, I was in Charlie Company 375. We had elements of A Company and battalion headquarters, regimental headquarters. I think you've had numerous generations of Rangers come through the Ranger Regiment, starting back in 2001, that have served here, and they've done so honorably, and they've done everything we've asked them to do. You got 20 years of Rangers that have answered the nation's call in Afghanistan. I think looking back, I couldn't have done any better with better folks. I've had the opportunity to serve with some absolute great Americans over here, and I continue to keep up with the ones I can online. And we appreciate the service and the continued service to the nation that the Rangers, past, present, future.
Carl Todd Brown. This is I think it's my 14th deployment. That's at least what the S1 came. The force that we came here with nearly 20 years ago is not the same force that we're leaving with. We came here, we didn't even know what a UAV was.
I think he touched on something that over the last 20 years, the American military as a whole, including the Rangers, but as a whole, has gained such a level of modern war experience and leaps and bounds in technology based on the needs of the modern warfighter that it, like you said, we had no idea. We didn't know what UAVs were really in the initial invasion and early jumps and things like that. I mean, hell, just even to us regular guys, the training and the experience of those that went and served in Afghanistan and Iraq, it was such an augment to us that it's crazy to see now how many of those guys are out and how, in my opinion, deprecated our warfighter capability is because we have so many senior NCOs that decided to leave. Whether retirement's one thing, but just deciding to get out, and a lot of it had to do with the way that the Army was going towards the end of the war. Not to mention COVID vaccines, and not to mention the politics of it. And we gained a lot of good knowledge to increase and improve our warfighter capability, but at the human cost of it all, what did we really gain?
And now we deal with those each and every single day. When we came here, we had no robots in the 75th Ranger Regiment. Now we use them all the time. And so when you look at scope and scale and the mass that a Ranger Battalion, a Ranger Regiment can bring to the fight, that is something people recognize, people highlight, and it's something that we'll continue to rely upon. As we kind of collapse, you have the ability to secure something. Good luck attacking a Ranger Battalion in the defense. It's not going to work out for you. The world is getting more complex. It's not getting less complex. And there will be friction. There will be fights in the gray zone. There will be places where people will test our resolve. And the best thing to do is to send a Ranger Battalion when you want to make a statement.
I appreciate that. Their deployments, a lot of times, from what I understand, their deployments were a lot shorter, but they were a lot more combat-oriented, mission-oriented, objective-oriented versus, hey, this is our combat outpost. Like Cop Keating. Why did we have to have a combat outpost in that region at the bottom of a valley? If you want to learn more about that, Scott Eastwood did a movie called The Outpost, but do some where another cavalry scout, Clint Romachet, was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions that day. But it's those are longer occupational deployments versus what the Rangers did. The Rangers did shorter, harder, more dynamic missions. And I'll give them a lot of credit. I always give crap to anybody that's not a cavalry scout, but I'll give Rangers credit for their operational capabilities and what they bring to bear, and their level of discipline. You can get all the way through school, you can get through everything like that, but if you go and you're a turd and not a team player, you ain't staying there.
Will be complete with all reversals. All property will be transferred. Will be transfer train for drivers Bravo 175 and Charlie 275. Additionally, flavor on the back will be sealed. ECP 3 will be closed. Any questions will be followed by Alpha 125 to code.
There we go. I wanted to backtrack a little bit. So that vehicle right there, those I think they're called Razors. They've now started getting, my last unit was 3-4 cab in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii, and now they're starting to get these vehicles. I just saw on their social media page, they were posting about using Chinooks to transport them from the island of Oahu to Hilo to the big training area there. And these are some bad looking vehicles. These would be cool to work with. You got 240 Bravo. Little words, rocket pods, and miniguns, so I am. This had to have been so surreal for the sergeant major who was part of the jump. I'd like to know what his real personal feelings are about it.
Really have to say badly. I'll tell you that.
You already know that's not comfortable. I've been like that in the back of a Bradley with 12 guys in the back of a Bradley. We had a giant medic with us at the time too. I think he laid across our legs. And the carrying handle of the 240 Bravo smashed into my thigh for an hour while we rolled around Korea. Pat Tillman. The Lee is a very, very interesting story. He fought and was leading a team when they came into contact, and during a medevac operation, he put himself in between the cockpit and the enemy fire to protect it because the helicopter came under immediate enemy direct fire while it was coming in. It's a powerful story. You know, this war definitely not only did it give us technological advances, but it showed us what the best of Americans really look like when it comes time for it. And Salise was definitely one of them.
As we move into uncertain times, we will always have Rangers that are prepared to go and fight in our nation's wars. We've never changed our standards. We will continue to uphold our standards. We'll continue to live our Ranger creed, and we'll be always ready to get after the enemy, wherever that may be. I can guarantee it.
All the changes. I thought there's gonna be a lot more about it, not just how we started it and how we end it. But that was put out by the 2nd Ranger Regiment, so I understand it as well. It makes me feel a lot of things. I had friends killed over, several friends killed over there, injured over there, lives forever changed over there. And a lot. It's very easy to fall into the trap of what was it all for at this point. Especially during the evacuation at Abbey Gate and everything else that they were up against. Just trying to evacuate people. All right, I'm gonna go get something to drink. Appreciate you guys watching the Rack video today, and welcome to the Roughnecks.